is like in their world, in their boxes, you know what I mean, on their platforms, trying to push their agenda. But the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, he was a visionary, you know what I mean? And he taught us divine sovereignty, you know what I mean? He taught us not about civic rights and civil rights and human rights. He taught us about God rights. Now, I mean, he taught us literally that each one of you are a member of the Creator's nation, and that the Creator is not in you, but the Creator is a dimension of you, meaning that your mind is infinite, capable of accomplishing anything that the brain can conceive. And when Black people wake up, they're not going to wake up and realize that we're Nubians or Egyptians or Jews or Muslims or Catholics or atheists or entrepreneurs or any of that. You're going to realize who you really are. I mean, you are Yahweh. You are Allah. You are Ray. You are Amun. You are Usar or Set. Now, I mean, whatever nomenclature throughout time, whatever labels they want to stick on this concept of God or goddess for that matter, it's talking about you being you. But for the last 66 trillion years, way before white folks, this ain't white folks' fault. I mean, way before white folks, the knowledge of yourself was hidden and it was placed in the hands of the elite. Now, I mean, the 10%. And they realized that as long as you would follow them, as long as you would depend on them, as long as you would limit your wisdom to their wisdom, you would never reach your own understanding. You would look at the Department of Supreme Wisdom as the end of all ends. When the messenger teaches us, no. I mean, he told us, he said, what I have given you is just a wake-up message. In fact, let me see if I can find that for y'all real quick. Because I don't like telling you things in a vacuum. You know what I mean? I'll be like, Don Elijah Muhammad teaches us. And I'll be like, Don Elijah, I don't teach that nonsense. I mean, you know, so you have to put the teachings in context. You know what I mean? Let me see. Hold up for a moment here. Unfortunately, these little sayings is not in order, and there's like 100 of them. But what I do is, it's in the divine sayings of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. They didn't have an index, so what I do is I manually, years ago, just made my own little index. You know what I mean? Let me see here. It's about universal. It just slows down my search. Okay, page 31. This is what Messenger Elijah Muhammad said. Page 31, The Divine Sayings, volumes 1, 2, and 3, published by MEMS. I had the actual book from 1970 in the 1970s. It was half of this. It was like a track like this, like a half of like a little folded up pamphlets. I had all 3 volumes, but I lost them like 30, 40 years ago. I let somebody read them, never got them back. But I salute MEMS Society because they always made sure that they keep the message of teachings alive. Okay. And I appreciate that. Okay, like I was saying about the universe, this is what the message said. I'm going to quote him. What the law has revealed to me is a base for building a universal knowledge. It has not, family, become universal, or we would not be preaching. It is to become universal. So when the messenger said this, it was not universal, but he envisioned in the future how the Nation of Islam would be structured. It would become a theocracy. A theocracy is a divine, universal government of gods and goddesses, okay? There will be no big I's and little U's in our government. Now, I mean, there will be some youth that will do supreme things, some brothers do some supreme things, some women doing supreme things, teenagers doing, I mean, it'll just come from all over the place. Now, I mean, it's like when we spark the stars of our galaxy covering 157 quintillion miles, it's like there'll be a light there, but you'll just be seeing all these lights, all these brothers and sisters building, now I mean, on every level possible in a progressive, protracted, positive manner, crushing evil and negativity so much so the Honorable Elijah Muhammad teaches us in the future no one will even be able to graft another devil because the actual universe itself will be transformed. He said, look at the sun. You see how this God can't even look at the sun. We made the sun, but we can't look at it. If you look at the sun, you go blind. You stare at that sun, you're going to lose your sight. Know what I mean? You know what I mean? The devil going to light of that sun is going to kill him. So here's one people that the sun destroys, and the other people the sun blinds. I mean, he said, nah, he said one day, and I'll say it was around 1974. He said one day an entire new universe is going to be made. He said the sun is going to burn out one day. Now, I mean, everything that we see that we call space is gradually decaying. Now, I mean, so we're talking a whole new hereafter. We're talking like, you look at the sky at nighttime and it's black, it's going to be lit. But you're not going to need a sun or stars to light it up. It's going to be a light in and of itself. You see how the atom has a proton and an electron shell outside, 2,000 times more dense than the proton? There will be no vibration of that electron. That electron is going to be so dormant that we're just going to have positive and neutral. All we're going to have is kinetic and potential good, meaning you're going to either have good in motion or good in the process of becoming active. The positive, the 5%, the poor righteous teachers. Now, right now, we're stuck in a situation where we're believing unbelievable things. The gods are getting spooky. So we got to struggle to keep our people centered. Now, I mean, we got to take and make sure you don't forget the foundation. I mean, it's like if you build a big, giant, beautiful temple and mosque on swampland, it's going to sink. As soon as you physically die, your movement going to physically die. The building going to collapse. The believer's going to collapse because in their head they have idol gods. It's not built on the foundation of the supreme Allah God who came in the person of Master Muhammad and his first, last, and only messenger, the most honorable Elijah Muhammad. So it's gonna have you spooky. Now, I mean, so spooky. This is why we be on the tip of why we believe what we believe. I mean, like our people's just so naturally gravitated to the supernatural, the superstition. Now, I mean, astrology, soothsayers, root doctors, ghosts, goblins, leprechauns, witches, warlocks. Now, I mean, black magic, white magic, because by nature, we are people that are unlimited. And your brain psychologically can never settle for what is the best. Once you get there, I gotta go somewhere else. Now, I mean, I was just watching an old movie documentary on 50 Cent. He was bringing up that point. He basically explaining like he works hard and push himself to the next level, and then when he get to that level where he wanted to get to, he then look up and see who's on the next rung up, and he like, oh, I gotta get up there. You know what I mean? He was explaining how the people over like Britain and the UK, they make the rappers in America look like small timers. Know what I mean? Like, y'all billionaires. That's all. I mean, because over here, you go on tour, you go on state to state. If you're in Britain or you in Europe, you go on tour, you going to Spain, France, Germany, you going country to country, you gonna make billions. Know what I mean? So it's like our rappers be like, yeah, Ye got $1 billion, Jay-Z and Beyonce got $1 billion, Oprah got $1 billion there, and they be like, the Jew boy, he got 80 billion. He in the hip hop, he don't even rap. He got 80 billion. Know what I mean? So everything is relative. Know what I mean? So when it comes to our full potential, our aim is not to become a billionaire. Our aim is to make our own economic system. 12-point program. Now, the message said, build your own homes, schools, hospitals, and factories. Build an economic system among yourselves. Spend your money among yourselves. We can't play hate on the Jews and Chinese. We got to do our thing. Everybody eating but us. And I'm not just talking socially and politically and financially. I'm saying spiritually. Spiritually, we have to stop listening to all this spooky stuff that's limiting us. I was just building with one of the brothers the day earlier, and we was basically talking. I was explaining to her, I was like, it's not. See, when you tracing tribes, you're talking about the Bering Straits, Indians, 16,000. You're talking trivial stuff. Picture that in a cycle of 76 trillion years. You like Africa, man, we talking about when all the land masses was connected. There is no 13 tribes Shabazz yet. We just got black folks on the planet. We talking about it's only one black man on earth in the light of the sun. You want to talk about origins. We talking about that first atom sparking our universe covering 230 continuing 640 quadrillion miles. So today we believe all kind of unbelievable things because in our head we want the spooky stuff. We want the supernatural and not the natural, because if we have to deal with the natural calls us to have to be a law, be God, show and prove that you're a god or a goddess. There is no mystery God to bring you no food. You got to pay the bills. You have to come. You got to activate that creative genius that's latent in you. You can't be like the match. You got to be like the sun. You can't be potential fire. You have to be on fire. You can't have the potential to be God. You have to be God. You have to be a goddess. And do for self. Don't worry about your player haters. Don't worry about those that underestimate and doubt you. They can't see what you see. It's like it's for 10,000, 100,000, a million, 10 billion years in the future. So you got to set it off now, because you understand that you're in harmony and unity with the will of the supreme Allah God, who came the person of Master Farad Muhammad, to whom all praises are due forever. You understand the 7 mind dimensions: the physical, the emotional, the mental, the spiritual, the soul, the self, and the will. Some people get stuck on the emotional stuff. They so caught in, and they can't vibrate past that. Some people are so spiritual, all they want to do is dry fast, eat vegan, and make prayer, and wear natural hair. It's like, okay, what about removing the devil from the planet Earth? We ain't gonna talk about none of that. I'm out. I'm out this temple. I'm out this. I'm not gonna do crap, because I do not do anything but believe in these teachings. I'm not gonna practice these teachings. I'm saying the black man is God. I'm saying 24 principles of Islam say sad, live the captive believer. All them FOI, take their ass down there and free the brothers and sisters in the belly of the beast. They ain't gonna do that. They not willing to put in the work it's gonna take for true liberation. So what we got to do is say, okay, we gotta take our time with them. Because they still, as our lesson 17 ways Islamic culture warned us, the message said, do not pray as a Muslim and then continue in Christian ways. It's like we like, Lord, Lord, and we like broke, unhealthy, divided, confused, spooked out our mind, stuck in 1975, looking in outer space for the mother plane to come get us. It's just all kind of things. But the basic teachings is You have to understand yourself. You have to understand that what it is that you are born to do. Okay? So the messenger teaches us this. I'm going to share with y'all from Elijah Muhammad Meets the Press. This is a 1972 interview that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad held in his home. And I remember reading, it was actually reprinted in the Muhammad Speaks newspaper back in 1972. All right. Right now, we're in a real serious dilemma. I mean, we're in a situation basically where the believers are believing in the unbelievable. Therefore, their aim is to build a bigger temple, a better mosque or masjid, a better university, to get a bigger farm. I mean, to have the believers sending more charity. I mean, it's like, no, that's like so blasé. That's like, no, we talking Al Jadi Islam. We talking about that new Islam. We're not talking about Alaric Islam, that old Islam. All right. We're talking not legislations, voting. We're not asking for anything. The message teaches the earth belongs to the original man. Period. Take it. I mean, like, what part we don't get? I mean, it's like, now we claiming every square inch of everything. I mean, not on some gangster stuff, on some God Star stuff. Know what I mean? The God Star. Know what I mean? So on February 4th, 1972, this is what the message teaches us about why he envisioned in the future. This is 1972. Here we are in 2022 doing the exact opposite of what the message. See, a lot of us be like, I follow the teachers around Elijah Muhammad. I don't mess with nothing. The purities and stick with it. Leave my teachers as it is. But then you be like, why are you in the temple? Huh? Why are you in a mosque? Why are you in the masjid? That's not the teachings of Elijah Muhammad. Huh? Let's look at it. This is what the messenger teaches us. All right. 1972. Question. Have you designated a successor for yourself? Muhammad, talking about Messenger Elijah Muhammad. Quote, I do not do that. I cannot do that. I did not choose myself. God chose me. And if he wants a successor, he will choose that one. Question. By what means would someone come up? I do not know that, because I do not believe there is one coming up. The work that I am doing, I don't think God needs one. Because when man and God have come face to face, as the old saying goes, then that is the end of it. When we are face to face with God, that is the end of it. And so what would another one do? There's nothing for him to do. Question. After you are gone, Mr. Muhammad, the nation of Islam, after you are gone, Mr. Muhammad, isn't the messenger gone? Whether you believe he's on the mother plane or whether you believe he's in the grave, the messenger is not here. After you are gone, Mr. Muhammad, the nation of Islam, regardless what branch you may claim, the nation of Islam will continue to exist. But how? What is the mechanism? What is the social construct? How's y'all going to operate? I mean, on the economic, political, social, I mean, on the governmental tip, because we talking about point number 12, we supposed to be building this divine government. That's what we're supposed to be doing. We're supposed to be building a divine government, a theocracy with Master Fard Muhammad as the supreme law, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad as his first, last, and only messenger, their teachings as our constitution. You see? The message said we're going to follow it the way the founding fathers. So we're supposed to be building this divine government with Master Fard Muhammad as the leader of our theocracy. And from the master comes masters. From the God comes gods and goddesses. The black nation of Islam was not intended in this day and time to be structured as a religious organization, as, you know, who got the biggest temple, who got the best mosque or masjid, who got the biggest university, who got the best schools, who got the most money. All of that is the Eurocentric stuff. That's whatever temple or mosque you got, you're paying the white man's electric bill. You're paying, your air conditioning is being paid to the devil. Your heat is coming from the devil. You see what I'm saying? Your money in the bank has the white man's pictures on it. We don't have the nation's bank no more. We don't even have a bank. We don't have an economic system to call our own. So whatever we're doing,